Here you're being asked to sketch the graph of y equals cos x between 0 and 360 degrees. It's a fairly standard question. You need to know the shapes of the graphs of y equals cos x, sin x and tan x. So that's the result. I would go up in 90-degree steps, and the graph starts at 0, 1, is at the highest point, then it comes down, goes through the origin at 90 degrees, its lowest point at 180, up again, goes through the axis at 270, and then again it's at its peak again at 360 degrees. You need to show clearly that it's got a maximum and minimum values of 1 and -1, and notice that the graph is actually flat. It's got zero gradient at the maximum and minimum points. So as you're drawing it, you really want to make sure that your pencil is going in a horizontal direction at the lowest points. You'll find it much easier then when it comes to draw it to get the shape right. So that's the first part. And part B is helped by the graph from part A. The intention was that part A leads to part B. You're being asked to solve the equation cos x equals minus 0.7 between minus 360 degrees and 360. Now the graph is between 0 and 360, but you know that if you take your answers between 0 and 360 and then subtract 360 away from those, you'll get the values between minus 360 and 0, because the graph repeats every 360 degrees. So it's like you're taking this graph and you're just sliding it 360 degrees to the left as well, and then you're looking at what values would be there. So I've already marked on minus 0.7 roughly. It's not quite minus 0.7 on this, and just to indicate that there are actually two values of x for which cos x is minus 0.7 between 0 and 360. One value is up here, and the other value is up here. And we use the symmetries of the graph to help us to work out one angle if we know the other. So if I find inverse cos of minus 0.7 on my calculator, I get 134.4 degrees, and that corresponds to this angle here. 134.4. Helps if you've got a decent sketch, then you can get a reasonably good estimate. Now, this angle here is your other solution between 0 and 360. And what I've done is I worked out this distance, the number of degrees between 134.4 and 180. Then I added it on. Because as I said, it's a symmetrical graph, so either side of 180 degrees I go the same amount. So if I do 180 take away 134.4, I get 45.6, and so this gap is 45.6. If I add 45.6 to 180, I end up with my other solution. So 180 plus 145.6 equals 225.6. So this angle here is 225.6. So my solutions are going to be 134.4, 225.6. And then you can look at this in one of two ways. You could either say 134.4 subtract 360 and 225.6 subtract 360, and you get the answers. Or you could even say, well, this graph, if I continue to the left, I'm going to have a symmetrical shape. What I've got here is going to repeat on the other side. So I'm actually going to get minus 134.4 and minus 225.6. And those are actually the same as the answers you get if you subtracted 360 from those. So the answers are plus 134.5 or minus 134.4, and 225.6 and minus 225.6. I've given the answers to one decimal place, which is what the question asks me for.